Arabic Pride Month. So, it is the holy month of the year in the West. It's not Ramadan. It's Pride Month, of course. And we've gone through a lot of the cringe reactions from the British government, the American government, so forth. Some of the more unsavory things from Pride and whatnot. But I thought we'd check in with Pride in Arabia, which they're very tolerant of.
Is it popular there?
It's a big thing. It's right to the roofs, really, is where it's taking place. Okay. It's pretty horrible, but I thought we'd go through and just see the Arabic reaction to some American government policy, I'll put it lightly. But firstly, I shall mention that we are hiring, so if you go to our page, you can see on the careers, we have opportunities for video editors and for content producers, so podcast hosts. So you can go over to lotusears.com to check out the jobs on the career section, right at the bottom if you scroll to the bottom. Otherwise, we shall get into the news. So if we go to the next one, we have the fact that, like every year, our holy month comes around in the West, and every corporation decides to say that, hello, my fellow kids, I'm also homosexual, for 5 minutes. As you can see there, this is Tatiana McGrath making the point with all the different logos on the different corporation Twitter accounts. They all change. I don't know if you can click on number 3 there. Microsoft's one is the weirdest one, frankly. Look at that. Look at that on the left. What is that? Just a myriad of colors in the top there. No idea. Anyway, but the Arabic version, of course, Microsoft Golf, nothing. Normal day. Business as usual. And it's the same for every other corporation that is presented there.
And this is stupid because the battle for gay rights has pretty much been won in the West. You know, there's still
a reason every corporation is comfortable doing it.
Yeah, there's some finessing around, you know, should trans women be allowed in sport or to teach your children naked sex shows and stuff. But, you know, in general, you know, there's equal rights.
There's a hot debate on that issue, I'll give you that.
We've stopped throwing gay people off buildings and stuff. I mean, there is still some. There's still some. There's some beheadings in Ireland recently, but that was actually not somebody who could trace his lineage back to Somerset.
Yeah.
That was somebody with a different ideology.
Yeah, the same happened in Reading, of course, which is a bunch of gay men were stabbed to death by a Anglo-Saxon, I'm sure. But anyway, there's
if companies really want to affect social change where it's needed, man, you need to be going to Saudi Arabia, you need to be going to Uganda and saying, look, gay people should have equal rights, you should treat them well. So the fact that they're not shows that they're not doing this to affect any social change, any positive social change. They're jumping on a safe bandwagon.
They have no convictions to go to the Arab world and do this because it's not really what it's about. I mean, coming from a Nazi company like Mercedes-Benz as well, what were you expecting? But if we go to the next one, there is someone who has some convictions, which is the United States government. And the United States government has a very big conviction in its newest ideology, of course, being intersectionalism. Now at the highest levels of government endlessly. I mean, there was a little bit of it under Obama at the later years, but it was still kind of a fringe ideology. And then, as you see with Biden, it is fully party and government policy at this point. Here we have the State Department raising the progress flag and celebrating that they've done it for multiple years now. The United States stands firmly for fighting with LGBTQI plus people at home and everywhere. It's a weird phrase. I would have thought they said abroad, but apparently not. But if we go to the next one, we can see that how did this happen abroad? Well, they've done it in the past. They tried this with the Black Lives Matter flags. The embassies doing this. That was up for all of 5 minutes because this was under Donald Trump, who said, "What the hell are you doing? You're an embassy, not a campaigning group, you morons. This is not your place." Never mind the fact that also Black Lives Matter is a, money laundering scheme, it seems. But if we go to the next one here, we can see the fact that, this time round, for this year's Holy Month, we have the military engaging. I mean, every branch of government, this is just the funniest, being the Marine Corps, who are like, yes, proud to serve. Rainbow paint, presumably, on their face as camouflage.
Really, it makes you more noticeable in a combat situation if you've got a big rainbow on your helmet. I mean your helmet on your head.
They've got to be out and proud somehow, so perhaps both. But if we go to the next one, we can see where the Western road ends up leading, or at least where intersectionalism ends up leading. And, this is where a lot of people in the West are looking at ourselves and thinking, what the hell are we doing as a civilization? And this is the example here from the Babylon Bee folks. A small child, perhaps 5 or 6, stuffs money into the underwear of a nearly naked drag queen as parents look on smiling and taking pictures. And remember, this doesn't just stay in the West, these images. The internet allows the entire world to see the worst aspects of the West and wonder what the hell we're doing and why they should follow our example.
I mean, this is basically a recruitment ad for ISIS.
Yes. a very effective one, indeed, I imagine.
I mean, I'm tempted to join myself.
Eat up, you unbeliever. No. If we go to the next one here, we can see that this is obviously condemned elsewhere. I just want to make that point. As you can see here, this is a drag queen who is, I mentioned previously many times, the fact that she come out and just says, what the hell are these drag queens doing?
Yeah.
Like, I perform for adults and only for adults, not kiddos.
Yeah.
So
a lot of drag queens, a lot of gay people, very uncomfortable with certainly, people I've spoken to, very uncomfortable with this because they see they don't want children coming to pride events because it's where they get to let their hair down and express themselves in public. They don't get to do that very often. But if you're expressing yourself sexually, which obviously, being gay is by definition, it's about sexuality. So if you're expressing yourself sexually, you don't want anything cramping your style. You don't want your mum there, looking at your wanger, and you definitely don't want, 5-year-old kids looking at it. Like, you want to be able to express yourself. It seems obvious. I really don't understand why the left, because it's a leftist thing. It's not a LGBT thing. It's a leftist thing to think it's a good idea to expose children to these situations and ideas when they wouldn't dream of, like, no leftist would be like, I'm taking my kids to Hooters to learn about, the female body for the, a heterosexual norm. That'd be seen
You wouldn't take your mum either, as you say.
Yeah.
It's like, it's weird. Why would you want to be sexual around beings you don't want to be sexual around?
Yeah, exactly.
So, there you have it. But anyway, if we go forward from this, we can see that this has been condemned somewhat. But I found this interesting. Moving over to the Semitic world. Firstly, was drop off in Israel before we go into Arabia fully. I noticed this tweet currently at Tel Aviv Pride. It feels like Pride of old, not a single progress flag. The rainbow still seems to mean something here. And this dude's telling the truth, it seems, because I looked into it. If you go to the next one, we can see the fact that this is Tel Aviv Pride with the verified checkmark. Do you notice any progress flags? Those racial pride flags with the black and brown stripe or the intersectional phalanx? No, it's all just normal rainbow ones, which I found strange, to say the least. But then if we go to the next one, I have seen at least one progress flag, as you can see, from the American ambassador. Of course, the Yankees keep turning up, specifically the Democrat Yankees, to be clear to the Republican guys out there who fight this, turning up with their disgusting intersectionalism and trying to force it on everyone in the world, including, well, apparently Tel Aviv Pride, who want nothing to do with that stuff. However, now we move to the Arab interactions, which are not so welcoming as Tel Aviv there. As you see, Andy No reporting here, the government of Kuwait has summoned a high-level US diplomat over the following tweet celebrating LGBTQ plus month. Kuwait says its tweet violates international norms and infringes on the country's Islamic laws. Which, yes. It would. That is true. Which is, I can't imagine the Kuwaitis were too happy about this. But what I found interesting, you can see that's an English version. See the English text saying all human beings, blah, 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 blah. And it says President of the United States is a champion for human rights of LGBTQI persons. Hashtag Pride 2022. Hashtag you are included. If you go to the next one, because obviously there's an Arabic version, they dropped the Q and I from the LGBT part of this tweet. There's no Q and I anymore. An interesting discrepancy, which they decided to do. And also the you are included whatnot, and that's all gone. Instead, they just have the first part of the tweet there, which is, toned down compared to, Western rhetoric.
Yeah, I mean, it's still quite toned up compared to traditional Kuwaiti rhetoric.
I imagine so. But as you can see there, they then also have the racial pride flag as well. The Kuwaitis didn't take kindly to this, to say lightly. If we go to the next one here, we can see the BBC News reporting on this. Pride Month, Kuwait criticizes US embassy over pro-LGBT post. And Kuwaiti officials criticized the embassy for supporting homosexuality and demanded it didn't happen again. The foreign ministry ordered the embassy to respect Kuwaiti laws and not to publish such tweets. Kuwaiti officials accused the embassy of violating international conventions requiring diplomats to respect the laws and regulations of the receiving state, which it's not like the Kuwaitis don't have an argument there, technically, which is, of course, that, they're an Islamic country. What did you think their opinion was going to be? Which is not popular in that regard, never mind getting into the gender ideology rather than just homosexual acceptance, which are two different things. But, I mean, that's one of the things that makes me kind of, I hate to say it, kind of sympathetic in the sense of, as you can see, the progress flag being used instead of the one that's being used in Israel, for example. Well, what is that about? That's about intersectional ideology. LGBT ideology has been called in Poland, for example. versus homosexual acceptance, which is all fine and good, whereas the other is not. They say many conservative Kuwaiti Twitter users responded with similar outrage to the US Embassy Pride post, including an MP, Osama al-Shaween, who wrote, "The behavior of our American embassy is unacceptable. Foreign embassies must respect public order of Kuwait and its official religion," he added. Another Kuwaiti social media user accused US officials of imposing a diseased and decadent culture on a conservative Muslim society. Which, yeah, Arabs for you. It's their opinions, and we're gonna say what they are. But there's the thing, which is you can just see the responses. You don't have to read about the cherry-picked ones. You just go to twitter.com and check them out, because there's Arabic Twitter. One of the messed up things about Arabic Twitter is they let things trend that they would never let trend in the West. I don't know if you know about that. They once had a post trends, like a hashtag that was literally just like kill blank. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And that Twitter was okay with that in the Arab world.
Right.
Nothing to say. It trended for I think like a week.
Right.
Didn't get deleted.
If a woman in Scotland sticks up for the suffragettes or tries to defend female-only spaces, then
Needs to go.
Instantly banned.
Yeah. As you can see, the individual here typing in their spaghettis. If you scroll down here, they have the fact that they just have the Yankee go home response, which I will be honest, I do find funny because I've seen it in previous posts, even from the Israelis there, who, as you can see, the Americans turned up with their progress flag, whereas the Israel Pride were like, no, none of that. Then we go to the next one. We have the umbrella memes as well. Sorry, this is the gender memes first, as you can see. I love how you can see the fact that the Western memes and the Western world's memes translate all over the globe and get reused. If you go to the next one here, you can see that I think this is the rainbow one that has been reused by, as you can see, a Muslim individual who's responded with that, which, okay, I guess we're learning about the Islamic understanding of the world, if nothing else. And if you go to the next one, this is apparently a poster somewhere in the Arab world, which, what the hell?
What does the umbrella say?
I don't know. I can't translate it. Perhaps an Arabic-speaking audience member can tell us in the chat, because I don't speak Arabic. But I find it weird how like Western memes have become, a Western meme culture in a sense, have become something in the Arab world. As you can see, it's a small sample that I've had to do because there's a lot more. A lot of them not broadcastable as well. So, of course, it being the Arab world and all, but people can go and check that out in their own time, I suppose. We've got the next one here. This is one of the funniest things I found of the holy month taking place in Arabia.
Oh, yeah, we covered this on GB News.
This is really funny to me, if nothing else. I don't know if you've seen the video, but we'll play it in a minute. Saudi authorities seize rainbow toys for contradicting Islamic faith and public morals. They got rid of the rainbows. And
obviously the rainbow toys, they're not being sold there as part of Pride or as any LGBTQ thing. It's like literally just because kids like rainbows. Kids like rainbow-coloured stuff. And this, there's a video of them. It shows the Ministry of Vice and Virtue, I think it is. I can't remember which. Going round and just binning. They're just chucking all these like rainbow-coloured toys in the bin. Which, I mean, it's progress. I mean, they used to just do that with gay people, so now they're doing it with their rainbow-coloured toys.
Oh, okay.
So it's progress of sorts, and and binning them. But this, I mean, I don't know where it's filmed. It could be in the Irish Tourist Board gift shop. Irish people have had the rainbow. That's been an Irish symbol for a long time, and it's the rainbow with the pot of gold at the end of it.
Oh, right. Of course. The traditional symbol of Ireland.
Leprechaun, and it's sort of been hijacked by the LGBTQ movement.
How dare they? The small people of Ireland should rise up. I see people responded saying apparently it says Al-Sharia, so Sharia. Other people saying it might stand for straight pride, so I guess we'll see that umbrella. They say in here that we are giving a tour of the items that contradict the Islamic faith and public morals and promote homosexual colours. I love that. Homosexual colours. Targeting the younger generation, said the Commerce Ministry worker involved in the campaign. The homosexuality flag is presented in one of the Riyadh markets, a journalist added. I love the idea of a random guy in Riyadh having a flag that just, this is for homosexuality.
I don't think. I mean, this seems like, getting rid of anything that's got colours on it in case it turns children like homosexual. It seems a bit too much. And on the other hand, sending drag queens into schools to show children their penises is also a bit too much. Maybe there's some like sensible middle ground between these two.
You would have always hoped, but frankly, I mean, the more and more we seem to look at the world, I seem to find, I don't know if you do too, that it seems that humans just go to the extremes, frankly,
Yeah.
in their policy, and we end up with one or the other every time. Never end up with anything sensible. But one shopkeeper protested the sweep, because it was his products, presumably, saying the apparently offending items are simply rainbow-coloured, nothing more. I love the idea that, no, secretly he's like, damn, I was going to get my agenda out there with the Hello Kitty dolls. And I love, if you go to the next link here, you can see the Saudis posted this on Twitter. I don't know if Twitter's banned in Saudi Arabia, probably is. Don't know, it's banned in Iran. And this is really funny because they added like backing music to make themselves sound cool. And it's like they're doing a drugs bust, like the Americans do on Twitter when they, raid something on the southern border.
And it is weird how there's this sort of, I don't know if we can scroll down a little bit to see the full video, but there's the sort of contrast of, they've got the full-on, what's it called, the keffiyeh, whatever the headdress is called. I can't remember what it's called. The full-on headdress. But then they've also got their ministerial uniforms. So it's like the mundane apparatchik uniform plus the headdress.
In the girls' aisle. But let's play and have a look.
That is a old iPhone.
أثناء جولة التفتيشية رصدنا عدد من المخالفات في الآداب العامة اللي هي مثل منتجات زي هذه بشكل صريح بالشكل الداخلي. أيضا هذه نشوفها إيحاء من الشكل الخارجي.
Out.
Yeah.
They've blurred out the rainbow-coloured toys in case it inadvertently turns us gay.
Well, God bless. Good work, Vision 2030 Saudi bureaucrats there for protecting us from the big gay. But I can't get over just how they're obviously, like, in the girls section, there's loads of, dolls and female purses or whatnot around them.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're gibbering about, but they just, the music as well. Like, we've done a drug bust, guys. What'd you find? Rainbows. Not today, Satan. And, well, there you have it. There's the Arabic version of events of what is going on with the holy month of Pride, of course. But I thought that was off because there is obviously, again, going back to the West, the other extreme that we engage in. And as you can see here, this is someone posting, hey, Morrison's, just tagging Morrison's. Why are you selling baby grows with the homophobic, misogynistic, politically controversial, and let's face it, aesthetically criminal progress flag on it? Is nothing sacred. And as you can see here, it's clothing for a baby that they've decided to put the racial pride flag on there.
That's like when you see a baby in a baby grow with like a Ramones, they got the Ramones or Nirvana. It's like, I know your baby isn't a Ramones fan. It's 6 months old.
Ridiculous. Like, this is clearly the parents' status symbol.
Yeah, even if it does like the Ramones, it wasn't there, in the early days in 1974.
Yeah, I was listening. Somehow. But just gross, frankly. I don't know what else to call it. Like, what kind of parent wants that on their child? Like, why would you do that? And, well, presumably...
To signal to other people that you're a cool, right-on, left-wing parent.
Yes, I engage in segregation. Don't you know I'm a cool left-winger? Like, okay, well, going back to the olden left-wing, I suppose. At least the Dems there. And there you have it. There's the two extremes of Pride Month and the Arabic Pride Month that's taking place. And I found it interesting, if nothing else, that they've been stealing our memes.
Thanks for watching this segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters. If you enjoyed that, you can find more and subscribe for our premium content at lotuseaters.com. For instance, Josh and I recently have done a premium video called The Left Doesn't Understand Economics, and if you'd like to find me on social media, you can do so at Getter, at Harry Lotus Eater. Thank you very much.